Time is the enemy, the past, it threatens the fastest weapon. You wouldn't make it past a second, and that's the question. Play it brash and reckless, or choose a cautious solution you thought was prudent. In any sepulcher, pulchritude will become the putrid. It's that wealth that I'm pursuing. No mountain too steep or dungeon too deep to send expendable marks up to the top of the peak or beneath. They see you bleed, they come like sharks to it, while I swim in that money bin like Carl Barks Druid. So send your national parks Druid, I'll send them home in a natural box with a closed top and most of the parts included. Save your breath for a cleric confessor. Death is a lesson and life is a tenured professor. But if you're seeking my official advice, sign on the dotted line, initial it twice.
Hello.
Yeah, that's true.
I am Tycho Brahe of Penny Arcade and PAX. I am also of Minifus Hereward Run, CEO of Acquisitions Incorporated. But today, Jerry Holkins. I'm here to run a game of Dungeons and Dragons for my friends to my right.
Hey.
Dragonborn
There we go.
narcissist,
Hi.
Dinar
Have we met?
Blitzen.
Nice to meet you.
No.
Hey.
Yay!
I, in my mind, I went right to
The hits start coming and they don't stop coming.
Right to Amy.
Amy.
Yeah. Let's get this speed bump out of the way.
Amy's not real.
No, that's true.
Repping the natural world. Walnut Dawn Grass.
Whoa!
Oh, the strength of
So strong.
the strength of that sacred place.
The trees.
Yeah, exactly. To have forests.
I watched the whole Planet Earth 2 series on Netflix, which is only 6 episodes or something. But now I feel like I really have an insight into Wilmot.
That's cool, dude.
I just feel like I get your whole thing. All this.
I get all this.
The whole thing. I'll just go home.
Here, to my left, not your grandma's grandma, except for those rare cases in which she is your grandma's grandma, Rosie B. Stinger.
I'm running out of things to do here. So I'm going to go...
You're gonna
Oh,
b-boy style.
Attitude.
But you have to bring in. You're gonna have to bring in props.
No, I know.
Like cheese graters. You know what I mean?
I'm going to have a
Chops.
surprise.
Yes, slap chops.
All right, great.
All right.
Garrett, like,
To the left of my left, emerging as though from a mist shroud, Cthulhu Drow.
you.
Everybody gets it. Now,
Forgot about you.
let's see. Before we get into the scenario proper, I would be remiss if I did not do my utmost to serve Alyssa, our producer. Oh, there's a big list of things I have to talk about. You know what I mean? Non-stop torment. No, actually, it's the sponsors. Maybe that was the wrong way to introduce this.
Yeah. I hate this.
God, no. Couple things.
Don't buy the chocolate-covered fruit baskets.
So the giveaway, they're the worst. They don't taste like chocolate. They don't taste
okay.
like fruit.
Why don't you just shoot me in the face? Anyway, our sponsors today are...
So the giveaways we have for today
Edible arrangements.
are edible arrangements. Middle finger emoji is the single I'm getting from Alyssa. Now, two things. One, so we have the Elderwood Academy mini hex, which is actually up available on Kickstarter right now. They're actually super cool, and I was overjoyed to see the messages coming back from people who had gotten their prizes. We send them to you right away after you get them. We also have this massive gauge. This is the Purple Rain 45 millimeter level up dice. That is the size that we have at the A-Game show. A true artifact for your home.
It weighs at least 40 pounds.
It is definitely dangerous. Do not put it in a sock and use it as a...
Hit Ryan with it.
Yeah.
Well, do that. That's the only person you're allowed to pulverize with this sock dice.
Any Ryan.
Replace your sock full of doorknobs with a sock full of 45 millimeter Purple Rain dice. Only
Upgrade.
available at...
Upgrade, kid.
Will
Level
Mike
up.
pick this up?
No, it's a monster.
Yeah.
No, it is a wrecking ball. Now, let's see. I'm trying to think. What was the other scenario? Is that everything, Alyssa?
Table talk.
Okay, I got it. Oh, yes. Thank you. And no, in Table Talk,
me to do this?
we have... That would be awesome, actually. That would be a huge time saver for me. So I have to simulate a whole universe over here. I mean, the least you could do, right? Is take
Do
off
the
some of
announcements?
these... Yeah, right?
The daily
I
announcements?
think the least we could do is what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. This is a good level. No, we have special guests, Gavin and Dabe, who handle a lot of the design scenario that surrounds the streaming experience you are currently enjoying. they are going to come in, and then Kate and Amy are going to leave.
We're gonna
yeah.
go see Hamilton.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh,
We might just leave in the middle of the game. Just
Well, here, look, I support you 100%. I mean, I can make it happen. I can try to put something together for you,
perfect.
so you can get.
Can you segue
So
us right
no,
into that?
no, so you can be making your way downtown.
Oh,
there you go.
that famous hit from Hamilton.
Yeah. Lin-Manuel Miranda's a genius. He paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
All right.
In the immortal words of Aaron Burr.
Okay, maybe that kind of game. I guess we'll see how it goes. Friends, Shadow Council, revered Shadow Council, Mayor Labors, please you. When last we saw our heroes, they had just emerged from the dwarven stronghold in the Underdark of Iltkazar, where apparently their coming had been foretold and was literally written into the bylaws of the city, that people matching their names and descriptions were to be given a mithril pick. There was a lot of arguments about whether or not they should get it. In the end, the sleeping king himself arose from his 75-year-old slumber, handed it over, went back to bed. Classic scenario you see in pretty much every D&D game. It's just right off the shelf. It's like meeting in an inn. You know,
It felt good. Like I enjoyed going through it. You know, I've read about it.
yeah.
I've seen it in the movie.
It was a Deus Ex napping.
Stop the podcast show.
The whole thing.
I was leaving.
Stop the earth.
I need to cleanse my palate with Hamilton.
Indeed. But as they emerged from the aforementioned stronghold of Iltkazar, they found themselves face to jowl with a goblinoid host. And, you know, they had every reason to believe that this host was there, you know, with an intention to annihilate the party. What happened instead was that they engaged in a kind of illusory battle.
Wizard battle. I suppose it was a druid battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Slightly lesser known, a little more indie, right? And what should emerge, but the person that had been dominated previously by Dinar Blitzen, utilizing his draconic entitlement power. The direct result of this scenario was that he didn't seem to mind it, and in fact was curious and even interested in the process of the domination, which made it weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a sub.
it made it weird right away. But they had begun to engage in a dialogue with this individual who turned out to be a kind of druid that they were not previously familiar with. And indeed, when the hood of the robe was removed, they saw an illithid beneath it. So this is clearly an individual who doesn't go in for stereotypes. That's not what they're about. The very last thing they said, Cathris said, "Are you a seeker?" Also noting that their foci had some similarities. Asking if he was a seeker. Also, this entity said, "No, we have found each other." That is what happened last time. Thank you so much for coming out. We'll see you again next. No, yeah, we can just start playing from there. That is the scenario. Gathered Throng and Revered Shadow Council. I'd be happy to simulate this universe for you for as long as you feel like it.
Really?
Low particle effects.
Yeah, LOD, obviously. At about 50 feet, everybody's just a gray box. I'm sorry. Also, a mouse and a person have the same hitbox. Sorry, it's just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's how it is. I'm sorry.
So where we left off was the illithid handed me this,
Indeed, he handed you something
like a small.
exactly.
version of a
Imagine if you were to imagine a dark, portable version of the focus.
doing that. Yeah.
Right. So imagine that you're imagine a dark vacation where you're packing for a trip, but you know that foci beyond a certain size or weight won't be allowed on the dragon.
That's just a normal trip.
I lost the thread.
I'm having a hard time. I don't think that's a good metaphor. What I'm saying is that imagine that
Dark
there.
version of a bad metaphor.
So the scenario is that this is very much like the focus that you had with you when you left the Underdark altogether. It is crude, but obviously sacred in its way.
And he's handed it to me. I assume I don't know what it is, but I now, as a gift, I guess, I inspect it. I see that it's got that unity. What am I getting from my focus? Do I feel an affinity? Do I feel a movement?
Indeed. So, in your role as sort of mystic seeker, trying to define the parameters of a religion that, as far as you know, you were the only adherent of,
Well, I could find.
right? You've had a few experiences like this where other symbols that seem to be contained within the amethyst prison, this meat and mouths god, they have a kind of relationship to each other that's physical, intimate.
What was the cliffhanger that we ended on? What did the guy say right when we ended?
He said we found each other.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly.
Now, ordinarily, I would. I've thought about it. I've had some time. In my mind, it felt like a week, even though I know this is seconds have passed.
I love it.
But this revelation might be the only thing that would keep Cthulhu down here. And rather than immediately say, okay, that's nice, goodbye, I have to go.
Right.
So, what are all of you doing at the sight of this horrible creature, who I fear also?
Well, yeah.
But now I'm absorbed
with
by
every
this.
reason.
Yeah, and I can't believe that this is what's occurring.
Right.
I don't think I've ever interacted with one, let alone been given something nice by one.
Yeah. Got present.
Yeah.
You certainly know about them, though, right?
I-
Because they're Underdark dwellers.
Yeah, I know that you should avoid them.
Right.
That you shouldn't accept gifts from them. But now that I have, it's not
Two.
bad. Yeah.
There's a drow version of the looking a gift, a cephalopod, bipedal
In the mess.
creature. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the craw zone.
Yeah.
I think Rose is just waiting for a signal from you.
Kill.
Yeah. Growling.
I've taken my focus out, and I've got the smaller one here, and I look at him and I ask, have you seen this? Have you seen this glyph? The one on my focus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He looks at it with instant recognition. I mean, it'd be like showing a person here like the McDonald's logo or something like that. Like their recognition is instant and profound.
And he loves it.
He's loving it.
I'm immediately reaching for my book and thumbing through to that well-worn page, and I'm saying there are more. Do you have more? These are the ones that I found. And this one, Unity. This one is. You have. Are there more like this?
He says there are only two that are of any import to me.
These?
Yep. He says, in the same way that you and I are brothers, these two symbols are brothers in a way.
Then they shall embrace as brothers.
Make them kiss.
And after I give him a hug.
Yeah.
No, but before I do that, where did you find yours?
Well,
Was it a black altar?
wait, the stone.
Yes.
Yes, but it was not always thus. It has only been some 200 years. Before that, it was a wholesome and sacred place.
Corrupted somehow.
Absolutely. I know that his power remains, but he does not answer.
that which endures.
Indeed, he's been imprisoned somehow. I don't know
this prison.
I don't know that. How did you see such a thing and escape? How could you, a mortal creature, escape a prison designed for gods?
I say, like, with some humility, realizing what it's about to sound like, because I have the greatest god of all on my side. Because my patron, the one that I seek, has protected itself by also being imprisoned. Maybe in the manner that yours is better than the one that ate it, too.
I'm sure your guy is cool.
Yeah. Oh no, I bet he's great. I bet.
I've been to the prison a number of times.
No,
I've been there. I'm there all the time.
You stay
Yeah,
in the prison.
they've been.
You don't know what human or mortal creature emotion he's currently doing a parody of right now. The tentacles are just going every which way. He's throwing his head back, and there's a sort of like harsh staccato bark that is ringing off of the ceiling.
Are you okay?
Oh,
Are you all right?
He says, listen, there is clearly much that you do not know about that which endures. He says, that which endures and the are like the opposite parentheses of the truth. So you are suggesting that your divine patron is superior to all because he was devoured first?
I'm not sure which parenthesis he represents. He could be the last one. He could be the terminal one.
I don't think so. I don't think so. My conception of this, long may it endure, is that there is an order, a natural order to this consumption, and it must be undone in the order of its consumption. The hasn't been worshipped in the Underdark for 1,000 years, whereas not 200 years ago, my own patron spoke with me as I speak with you now. Incredible. He says, the unknowable, represents the systems and the thoughts of the universe. That which endures represents their inevitable dissolution into chaos. You'll have to excuse my passion in these matters.
You are excused. You have to excuse my increasing passion.
They are brothers, and like any other pair of brothers, they have their squabbles.
Do you guys need a room?
You'll have to excuse my visible erection.
No, it's just like the silken robe.
Yeah.
It's just like a cascade of silk.
Oh boy.
I like the idea that we're not like we're talking very close, so close that it is just making out.
Yeah. It's just the tentacles just like around the edge.
There's tentacles coming from both of you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hang
on.
This way.
I'm back. More of that.
And he says it's no matter. I in order to help yourself, you must help me. So we have no quarrel in this.
Oh, completely understood. In the only time it spoke to me, the being behind the commanded that I free another god first. Yours seems to be the correct first in the order.
I always. Did you receive a gift in Ildkhazar?
Yes.
From who?
Sleepy guy?
Whom?
Yeah. Dinar?
Yeah. A little chime in there.
You're just like,
Whom? Go on. Sorry.
So he is like this face is soft goofs. You think some of these sounds are laughter, right? this correction, it just an imperious gaze just over, and then all of the tentacles like shoot out straight, like,
Rude.
It's like a cat spitting.
and then he looks back to you and he says, "A gift that is given by a sleeping stranger. I always assumed the words were for me. I assumed that as his servant in the Underdark, this system would be to me to interpret and reify, but that may not be my role at all."
It may not, but
What a relief!
I would say that
I have felt the mantle of prophecy low these 2 centuries. The idea that someone else could handle this is a great comfort to me.
that's good news.
I amassed an army. I did everything I thought was required, but I don't think it's my prophecy at all. Ha!
Could we use your army if we?
Oh, I don't think so. They are quite unruly, and I suspect the places you'll need to go may require a bit more deft touch than perhaps 1,000 goblins and hobgoblins can amass.
Oh, they're yours. I see.
Oh, quite. Quite. In every way.
Who did you back in the wrestling competition? They seem to enjoy it.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
That's what I thought.
It doesn't matter.
It's pointless.
whoever succeeds will serve me. This is like a pair of shoes I try on.
And in the same way, it did not matter whose prophecy it was. We will undertake this. We share the same role. We're all pointless here.
They're all God's shoes.
Are we not the shoes of some greater being?
He
A
said,
bitter laugh.
he says there is a process by which these gods can be removed. It has to do with inverting the process of their consumption somehow. So you have it. You have the gift. What is it?
It's a pick of mithril. Of mithril. Which, I mean, it's expensive. I think that
he's a little like his eyebrow equivalents are a little bent right now.
Yeah, now that I know what it's supposed to do, what it should be capable of doing, maybe there's something else that's special about it. I'm going to remove it from my mouth bag.
Yeah.
My
Crossack?
My horde's-person bag.
It's a little it sort of snuffles and sniffs the little radula, sort of seeking and ready. He's like, oh.
Oh no, the opposite today. Young one. Give it up.
Bag makes a puking sound. Like,
Yeah, it
Denora starts to. He hears it. He's like,
as soon as you
the bag pukes like a cat.
oh, no, but it's just like, it's kind of sort
Oh.
like it has to kind of like
its back.
Yeah.
Has to arch.
Yeah. Like you can see the form of it coming up.
No, I think getting things out of it. Now, obviously, what we described is that the aperture can widen, and you can gain access to the boxes that you have, right? But I think it's just as funny if we allow ourselves a little bit of headcanon that says that in order to get the things out, you have to play it sort of like a bagpipe. But you just have to get it and just like.
And they come out wet.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's no reason. You open it up, it's dry as a bone in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make sense. It has to do with its internal storage that I don't know about, but
There's membranes.
yeah.
Probably.
I think they could do a better job than that.
It's true. It's true.
So I hold it out and say, this is what we were given. This was the prophecy.
That is a very common object.
I think if the dwarves knew what it was capable of, they wouldn't have handed it over. They would have found a way to ignore their prophecy.
And
I don't know. Maybe they have all the gods they want.
Maybe. But honestly, we've been trying to figure this out too, because the prophecy says this will burnish the tattered crown. This is a pick. It's not going to be burnishing shit.
No, No. It could be the tattered crown describes the imprisoned god. It could be that the burnishing itself is the release, a process which you appear to have well in hand.
Unknowably so. I wouldn't have thought it.
He says, there is a piece of information that I can give you.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Now,
How
before
much information?
he...
Kathris is officially the horniest one.
Yeah,
Table now.
No, it's like
Fully torqued.
no. It's like we finally found like the way to get Kathris and Chris like involved with the game. It's like this slimy, Underdark rot priest is his Brahma, basically.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's been a long-standing question of Kathris' sexuality, and
I think we just
this
figured
is
it out.
it.
Whatever this entity constitutes. So he says, now in the time before.
Even the intimation.
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. In the time before, there was one who was said to serve that which endures. He hailed from the city of Galanearth.
Really? Interesting.
He says, and I can't imagine how that would have been inconceivable for a drow to serve
Agreed.
any entity but I see that you stand before me.
There are very few of us, but to each their own, I guess.
There may be more to learn there. There may be something else that matches up with the quatrain.
Oh, let's go there. Let's head that way.
As I always intended.
God. Just stares off into
And I
the
think, and I think,
Giving up now?
yeah, I know. I think, no, in Kathris's mind, he's so consumed by this idea that now he's completely rewritten everything that's happened here to that, no, I did want to go. This was a good idea.
He's retconned like the whole thing.
He's he's not ready to admit how why would I want to leave? It would be stupid to leave. The answers are in that direction.
It starts throwing blame. You're the ones who didn't want to go. I said go from the start.
And everything conspired to get us to leave. You know, I mean, my feelings about it didn't help. But now my eyes are open. They are. I mean, there's nothing in there, but they're open.
Wide open.
Yeah,
The eyelids
exactly.
are-
Yeah,
are
Staring.
back,
you can
yeah.
see right into that impermeable darkness.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Is there anything that the audience should know about Galanearth, or do you want to?
It's where I was a young drow, and where I escaped from. Near there is where I found my chunk of the black altar that I carry with me.
But it wasn't in Galanearth. It was just near it.
It was very close to it, yeah. But this was where my house is. That's where my family house is.
Okay.
Walnut looks like so happy for you that you get to go home. She's like, homecomings are so important. And she goes, I don't know if I've mentioned this recently, but I don't have a home anymore. And it just must be very nice to like still have one to go back to.
I don't have a home by choice.
Okay.
That's worse.
But you have one.
I'd rather that not be how it's uttered.
I'm just really happy for you, buddy.
Oh, I just realized. Sorry, table talk, but none of the four of us can go home.
Oh, yeah.
No, dude, I actually literally saw the skin response on your arm. I saw the skin response on your arm.
Whoa.
Real ass goosebumps. Sorry.
Family tropes and god tropes.
Yep.
GTs.
With that understanding, then we have no other option. I know the way. I thought I'd just map that route backwards, and that would get us.
No, exactly.
faster,
Yeah, exactly.
but-
You know, and it's like your neighborhood. to a certain extent. I mean, it's a several 100-mile radius, but this part of the Underdark is not unknown to you.
Well, this is downhill. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
more straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. So it turns out that there are various elevations inside the Underdark.
Yeah.
I want
So
to paint a little scene really quick with you.
yeah, please.
Yeah, I can tell that this is the place that you've been avoiding, and that now you've resigned yourself to it. So I come up and very like gently lay a hand on the side of your cloak and say, no matter what is waiting for you back at Galanearth, you still have all of your friends here with you. And I point to Walnut and Dinar, and I want to imagine that Dinar is like having a burping contest with the goblins or something. Something really foul. Totally useless. Are we going somewhere?
You're just like, I have friends. Like, you're not really listening to what I said.
Like, no, I just ate.
Yeah, I miss my friends. Yeah.
All right.
I could go.
I mean, no, I'm good.
I don't.
Well, you'll have me anyway.
I'm not sure what they would say if they saw non-Drow in Galanearth.
Well, sounds like a makeover episode waiting to happen.
Yes, I believe that you will be made over into corpses. I think that is the transformation.
But it's very striking.
They'll move that bus.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's safe to return with me.
Oh, so you wanna...
It's not safe for me to return. I also am concerned that I will be destroyed on sight. So I'll be making liberal use of my mask of many faces.
But you're a Drow, and this is a Drow city. Why would you be destroyed on sight? Us, no chance.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
I didn't leave under the best circumstances. I didn't say a lot of formal goodbyes. The one I did say was sort of via an action, was a theft. I stole from the adherents of Lolth Temple to fund the earliest part of my escape from the Underdark. And I spent a century or two worried that they would come for me above ground, and they did not. But I don't imagine that they'd be pleased to see me.
Well, sure, but the statute of limitations must have expired on that crime by now.
Oh, the Drow are long-lived and very litigious.
Isn't it true? I've always read, and to be fair, these are in mostly fairy tale type books. I've always read that the Drow, if you commit a crime, the Drow don't catch you, you got away with it, and that's something that they're like, hey, nice job. Is that not the case?
Well, we can hope for the best. We can just carry that in our hearts and our minds, and it's possible that things have changed. I don't know culturally what they're like at the moment. I only know what it was like when I was a youth.
Okay.
Maybe theft is acceptable now.
Maybe it's smiled upon.
Could be legalized.
Yeah. You never know.
Legalize
Some states,
theft.
Yeah.
Legalize it.
But yeah, there are various reasons why I haven't wanted to return home, and those returning with me might be looked even more unfavorably upon. So we need, I don't know that I can recommend that you would join.
I don't know.
If there was a reason for you to come, we would have to think of it before we got there.
Dinar would be sympathetic.
The
I would be,
reason is you.
because this is like when we were going towards Jannar, and
Oh, yeah,
Jannar
yeah.
froze up and didn't want to go back. So I would commiserate. I think he'd be like, I get it. Look, I get it. All right.
You're not helping.
So you're just recommending we don't go?
Yeah, I'm just thinking murder suicide. We always talk about it in the back of the card. No,
I produced the 2 knives that I prepared.
like we've discussed.
This may be the time.
Rosie, I'm actually going to try some shit on you. I'm going to stomp my staff, clap it on the ground, and look at you and say, you have a decision to make right now. Is your desire for it, enlightenment, more powerful than your cowardice? And I'll even do an intimidation check on that if you.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, I'm all about these. I'm all about this.
All
You
right.
gotta jump in.
Yeah, I'll take advantage on it too. 'Cause
I'm interested
really
to
wanna
see
scare him.
because I feel like advantage.
Oh, that's
Not-
a 12. I got on that intimidation
Nothing
check.
scarier than my family.
Anything? Does that do anything?
Well, do I have to roll to challenge that?
Yeah, I would do an intuition check.
Oh, okay. What do I don't even know what that is. It can't be good on Cathris.
Insight?
Yeah,
Insight, yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got no modifier there. I will not take my
You want to be good.
advantage.
12.
What is it? It's a push, but what is
Yeah.
it? Adjudicator.
It goes to the defender.
Oh, okay.
just
like
barely.
risk.
That makes good sense anyway, because I'll say, no, it's not. I'm ready to go back. Let's pound my staff on the ground.
Ooh.
So
So it's just going back and forth. It's like
Staff.
2 pounds. Boom, boom.
Whoa.
Staff pounder.
But
Still
no,
something.
my cowardice is about you guys being slaughtered on sight, not me. They'll take a little time with me. I'm concerned. They will kill
They'll just
me.
dread you.
They'll kill me with a blade. They will kill you with an
Now,
arrow.
Here's a thought.
Ooh, that's a
Would
good
they
distinction.
have any Rosie, you can disguise yourself, right?
I can minor illusion, but it's no mask of many faces.
Well, you could look, I don't know,
10 years younger.
dead.
I could pull up like a hood over my head and try to be like a kid.
There we go.
Okay.
I can turn into a small animal, and I can
That's
also turn any willing creature into a beast.
What?
Of your choice?
Something small, pocket-sized,
Oh.
like maybe a rat.
Oh.
No,
You're
not
right.
a rat.
A chipmunk.
Rats are noble.
Chipmunks are cute. I could do a chipmunk.
Rats are cute.
Yeah.
Dinar would make a good chipmunk, though.
They carry disease.
Would they have
They're
a problem?
flightless pigeons.
Would they have a problem with surface
Pigeons
animals?
of the dirt.
Pigeons of the sea.
Just goes on a 10-minute long rant against rats and pigeons. Nothing I say
Same.
about pigeons.
Same creature.
I like her plan.
Would they have problems with? I mean, we could tuck those away anywhere.
It only needs to work long enough for us to explore around Galanearth, not live there. If the illithid is still here, do you know? If you can provide us as much information with where this person might be, their name, and so forth, then we can minimize the amount of time that we're there, get what we need, and return.
He says, well, it goes without saying, I'm sure, that he's somewhat famous among adherents of my faith. He risked everything to seek this truth, and for that we honor him. He was the lord of a house called, what was it? Rahusli? Rahu-usli? There's a lot of vowels that I don't honor in the Drow language.
He must be dead. I'm sorry to tell you, he's dead.
But that doesn't mean that his research is necessarily gone.
It's just like I'm just ashen. If you could see through that, my skin color
Beautiful blue
just
skin.
drains
Yeah.
to a lavender.
Oh.
That's my
He
family
says
house.
he's his friend.
That's my family house.
It should be a matter of great ease to secure what you need then.
It never is with my family. And I only knew them a short time. But that's actually more specific information than I wanted. But more information is never a bad thing. It's very necessary.
He says,
And erotic.
He says, friend, you seem troubled.
I suspect that. No, wait. Maybe there is a way. there might be a way. My sister. I haven't spoken to her in forever, but she may still be sympathetic to my not living there.
He says, perhaps she is the cornerstone of a magnificent plan.
Agreed, new friend.
He's been dubbed.
Agreed, new friend. And without any of the potential strangeness of only having met an Illithid this one time, and all of the stories about them, I've heard. Agreed, new friend. And I put my arm around and pat like as one would a brother.
A lot of the shape of the body, you think is actually just the shape of the garment. Like you reach over and you feel
like go flop through.
No, exactly. Like the body underneath this thing is much more lithe and soft and thin than the sort of boning and structure of the garment, of the raiment presents. Just like too soft, too warm. Okay.
Does it appear that when he puts his arm around it, is this indicative of like an illusion that's being cast?
It doesn't strike you. It doesn't strike you as illusory. You think that it's not. It's illusory in the same way that like makeup would be illusory, right?
It's just like us. Yeah.
Is it 3 Illa kids in a trench coat?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
Shadow Council, man.
Here, I was just gonna say, Walnut gained 1 more level.
Oh, no! And now I get the gift of flight.
I become a creature of
And I fly out of this game forever.
I become a creature of sentient light. All right.
Okay. We have our task then. I have to think of the best disguise for myself. That's going to be the issue.
So you know that you will have a reasonable, a healthy period of time to discover your optimal level of trickery, because Galanearth is a fair ways south of here, and there are portions of that trip that require very particular travel, because the Underdark is treacherous even when it's well mapped.
Right.
But there are parts of it that simply can't be crossed. There's just massive chasms without anything like a bridge, like a chasm that's 100 miles long, for example, that is definitely between any kind of straight line from here to Galanearth. The path that makes sense that you'll have to take is going to be a little bit farther east of there.
Okay.
But you know that you'll have many sleepless nights.
Oh, sure. Fabulous nights.
Yeah, exactly. No, 4 days and 5 nights and.
Do I know like on that route back? What other like major cities or settlements might we encounter?
Yeah, you will almost certainly be very near, if not directly adjacent to Ringlorr Noroth, which is colloquially known as the city of soaring shadows.
Can't be all bad.
But it's on the Lake of Radiant Mists. Does that get anybody cranked up?
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
you do love mist shrouds.
Yeah.
Dude, you could get shrouded up in this mist.
It is legal there.
I might take them in a mist there. A couple hours.
Misty Elliott.
Miss me with that shroud.
Is it time for the commercial yet?
A savage whooping.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
All right. So we've I'll take the there's nothing to lose at this point. Like and I would want to do it in the Illithid's presence. My focus seems to have affinity for other.
So now that you're holding it out,
Yeah,
and this is the newest incarnation of the focus,
that's true.
is like a necklace. It can hang down like this, but it's like a necklace that where the symbols sort of exist in a continuum along the side of it. And so he has clearly never seen anything like this. He's seeing all these black chips and chips basically of these larger structures, but he's not a part of this continuum that involves a prison and a bunch of gods and all this kind of stuff. He knows that his god was sequestered somehow, but he doesn't have the type of knowledge you have about the rest of this stuff. He is gobsmacked by this. If he had a gob,
smack it right off.
it would be smacked by this bizarre artifact you've been commingling together since the beginning of the campaign.
Thank you for your gift. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for your moisture.
Thank you for your tentacles as well. Thank you for the dreams I'm going to have later.
Nice.
Nice.
What is your name, friend?
He says, "I am Gaul, and I am a carver.
What do you carve?
A carver, a druid."
We have a druid.
Hi.
I have a druid.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I go, hey. Hey.
No, dude, but that is the most well-known shit. Hey,
Yeah.
just off from the side, he says, "Oh, I am aware. We did exhilarating battle."
The pleasure was yours, I'm sure. She thinks about her illusions. She's really proud of that one. It's the first time she's done it. She's like,
It was really
it was
good.
a natural.
It was really good.
It was pretty sweet. Like it was a really cool fight. One of the coolest fights I think in the campaign, and it was not even a fight or real. So yeah. But you can. The respect is definitely there. They grappled in a completely bizarre arena. There's a lot of hooting and jibes from the
Blowfish.
from there's a lot of hooting from the blowfish. No, the gathered army.
Listen, Gaul.
Yeah. So they're moving. They're moving in, and he says, "Friend, a moment." And he turns back over and he holds his hand out, and the ground beneath the armies begins to rumble and vibrate, and they are sort of like piling atop one another and trying to make sense of this situation. And when the rumbling stops, they're quieter.
I thought he was just going to be like, I don't need an army anymore.
I know, that's what I thought was happening.
Dump them.
Are we sure we don't get like 5 goblins or even 1 goblin? We
What?
don't get a single goblin?
Why do you want
Like
a
a
goblin?
pal?
You just want a pet goblin?
I mean, he's a druid and he has like a whole army of goblins.
So
Oh, it's a
is this
a carver
walnut?
envy.
Is this a walnut thing or is this an Amy
No, this is
thing?
walnut.
Let's have that conversation. That's amazing.
She looks at him and she goes, we might have need of a goblin, and you have so many. Maybe it's that you could spare one.
I wouldn't miss a goblin.
Okay, well.
Do you have a specific skill set in mind?
One that.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Skill set in
Yeah,
goblins.
skill set in goblins. No, just your most eager.
Yeah.
Just your most eager boy.
Something to prove.
Yeah.
A young, hungry goblin.
Oh, yeah, he needs to be hungry.
The Rocky of goblins.
Yeah.
Rocky 1, though, not Rocky 3 or Rocky 4. He really gave it up by then. Don't worry about it.
I want your rockiest 5 most goblin.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the worst one.
Five.
You could have said anyone but 5. Tommy Gunn, not Tommy Gunn.
Anybody but Tommy Gunn.
So he looks out into this this ocean of his, and then he starts pointing his fingers through the crowd. And as he does so, well, it's something like a finger. It's Fingerian, let's say.
Fingesque.
Yeah, and so as you sort of, it's almost like he's riffling through a library stack of magazines. Like as he's pointing through there, goblins are coming forward and presenting themselves, and then he brings the finger back. It's very thoughtful, and then he points at one who seems, I'm going to say it, he seems smaller than the other goblins.
That's okay.
You can't just say that about a goblin.
Well,
I was just like a CSS like mouse over.
yep,
it.
exactly, exactly.
You just-
Right, and he skips over to the party,
Great.
Oh,
uh,
full on skip.
and he shares a couple words with Carver Gaul. And Carver Gaul says, "And what is your name?" And he says, "I am Tasty."
Oh no!
Tasty the
Now we
skipping.
named it, and now I can't
Now
do
you
anything
can't
bad to it.
You can't torment it like you were hoping to.
I was.
Tasty the skipping goblin.
Yeah, and he says,
Tasty.
he says, "You are to go with this new army now." And he looks back. Tasty looks back at his fellows, and he looks over at you guys, and erupts in joy.
Oh,
Good.
and I go, welcome, young Tasty.
Okay.
Whoa.
Y-U-N-G.
Welcome, young Tasty, into the arms of Acquisitions Incorporated. You are a temporary sub intern. Here's the form. Yeah. And then she takes his hand and she signs it, and she also spells Tasty wrong.
Oh,
Or maybe it's so wrong that it's right.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be the goblin version
Yes.
of Tasty.
-T.
Yes.
Oh,
Tea.
oh, young Tasty. Are you prepared to walk into the mouth of a god meat first?
Meat,
He asks everyone this.
Yeah.
He knows the word meat.
meat.
Good.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
see if I have some meat for him. The eager young fella. Let's
Do
see
you
if
have the
we.
Lizard King?
I
chew
rip
on these
off,
ribs.
I rip off a little. A little
Snap into the
component.
Slim Jim.
What were we gonna do with him, Walnut?
Well, I just thought that we're in this place. We could maybe do with something that looks like it belongs even a little bit.
As long as we're in the places where their kind are, preferred. Once we get to my town, I don't think a goblin's not gonna do us any
As long as you
service.
feed and walk it. This is a
Well-
big responsibility.
If he's not useful, we can send him packing or we can eat him.
His name's Tasty.
We should at least save him until we get into town, and then we can kill him in sight of some of the guards in order to show that we are not agents of him.
Hey.
We have this conversation like it's like a circle of four, and he's right in the middle.
No, and his mouth is wide open. It's just,
Ha. What a champ. We could pull a Chewbacca Death Star thing where we handcuff him and bring him into town with you disguised as though we have some kind of goblin with information.
Yes. He did something. What would be bad? What don't your people like? Sunshine,
Goblins.
goblins.
They'd probably wonder why I would bother bringing him in instead
Yeah.
of just killing him.
So he's obviously guilty. No one will question
He's got
it.
that going for him.
true.
Yeah.
Would he be a thing you could sacrifice at an altar?
I don't. Actually, I'm not sure how DM, because Chris
Yeah.
doesn't know. How does Loth feel about goblins? Are there any worshippers among goblins?
yeah, there are some.
Okay.
There are some, but I doubt that they're the prized.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's not the cream of
I
the
didn't
crop.
think so, but I didn't know if
It's
Loth
like,
was like, don't.
there's
don't
all
terrorize
kinds
this.
of creatures, especially, superstitious creatures that when presented with, worshiping an infinite eternal spider, there's something about that resonates.
Mm-hmm.
The path is not without its virtues, certainly.
Can you describe Tasty?
Yeah, of
Physically?
course.
Yeah, just describe Tasty.
Just give me
For the
like
podcast.
give me like what he's wearing, what his eyes look like, relative height to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he is just about your height.
Okay.
It's like without the bun,
Okay.
right? So up to the top of the head, without the bun. With the bun, you're getting bonus points.
Nice.
Taller,
I'm taller.
right?
That's all that matters.
Exactly. Tasty has incredibly sharp, rat-nibbled ears along the bottom fringe,
Okay.
with what appears to be a random sampling, maybe even of handmade rings.
Ooh.
3 on the left ear, 1 on the right. None of them are gold. You're not sure what metal they are, but there's nothing especially valuable about them except a Tasty. In terms of the armaments, 2 daggers. In terms of the armor, it is. It looks like hand-me-down leather armor, and you can tell just by the look of it that it didn't serve whoever its previous 2 or 3 owners were
Got it.
especially well. But he does have a pair of decent-looking black boots.
Okay.
Well, worst comes to worst.
Free boots.
Free boots.
You guys, for some reason, Rosie is like actually taking an interest in this young.
Well, it's the only person who sees
Yeah.
things at your height. Like,
right.
You see
Yeah.
things eye to eye.
Yeah, we see eye to eye on a lot of things. And I have an almond from the Net Prince debacle. And so I offer, I'm like, I actually don't know what goblins eat.
I was gonna say, is this
They
poison?
may not have
Maybe,
almonds
like,
there.
you try this?
so you hold it up.
Yeah, and I was just trying to give him a snack.
He
'cause
takes it
he's
and he
small.
goes, and then he hands it back.
Close enough. All right.
he takes a couple chomps in the air. He sort of mimics you, but he feels like he's done his duty by this.
Yeah, I take it back. I'm like, we'll work on it. You'll know what to do.
This is great.
This is so great.
Yeah,
And
now,
he's your
goblin.
ward, right? So is he bonded to Walnut? Like what is
Whoa,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
nature?
whoa, whoa, whoa.
What
Are
is
they
this?
Nice.
are they life mates now? Like
Oh,
Listen, this is just step 1 in whatever we are going to need to fulfill this prophecy.
okay.
See, it's just you always want to have that pocket goblin.
Yeah, we have that first line, the blood of a friend. I don't want that to be any of the 4 of us.
That's what I'm saying. We got to make it
we gotta make it in French.
Oh, not Tasty.
Yeah, look what you did, Walnut.
Oh, no. Okay, so can I pick him up?
Oh yeah,
Hug
Like,
him.
can I grab him around the waist? Like, is
you
he
can
pick upable?
try.
Got legs.
Oh, okay. Well, so I look at him and then I point to the beetle. I go, get on
Kill.
the beetle.
Oh yeah.
Pulls his knives out, starts licking his lips.
Yeah, and you see that it's often little goblins because there are beetles in the entourage out there as well, and it's often beetles driving them.
You mean goblins
Beetles
driving?
Oh
driving
yeah,
beetles?
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And then on the goblin, a tiny beetle.
No, I'm flipping the script.
The goblin has rays.
Goblin, beetle. No, it's like but there's a goblin and there's a beetle on the goblin with reins, but then there's a goblin on that beetle
Yes.
as well, and it goes on like this 10,000 times.
That's what I'm trying to set up.
It's like subatomic.
It's a
Beetle.
quark.
Yeah, so he can ride our beetle.
Yeah,
drive the beetle.
he knows exactly how to do it. And in fact, what you see is that they sort of, in a very sort of like Titanic way,
Oh,
they sort of hang on to that sort of rhino beetle prow, and they just sort of lean left and right, and they can so they don't have to rub the beetle's genitals like some weirdos.
I see. Well, had I known that it was a stag beetle, maybe I wouldn't have.
Oh,
Maybe I wouldn't have been tapping on it so much.
The beetle's like, oh, we're moving now? Oh, okay. The old steering.
New driver. Yeah.
All
Gotta make him go faster.
Okay. Well, I'm appeased. We all got something today.
Yeah, exactly.
I hop on the beetle.
So he's ready to go. He's wheeling this thing around to get the party.
I hop on the beetle.
Yeah, and Clarkmore is here as well.
I'll ride Clockmore.
Okay, I'm on the beetle, but proudly as myself, not as a small beetle this time. I'm
The
okay as me
biped?
for now. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm emboldened by all of this. Like, okay, maybe we can do it. Maybe it's not as bad as I think.
But you're going to have that beetle shape just in case.
I got it. I dialed 9-1. At any moment, I can hit the last digit. Yes.
So Carver Gaul says that when you, if you ever need anything, or if you're stuck in some part of the process, you can always return to the city where you first met him, that heap of ruins high up, which he says is a town called Holorar. And he emphasizes that he did not name it, that it's a very old name, and that you shouldn't blame him if it's hard to say.
No, I wouldn't dare. I wish I was having to return to his home than my dumb family's. So
Wow.
He says you would not be welcome,
no, I don't.
nor would I.
And it seems like we're in the same place.
Yeah,
I wish I could send you on a mirror task where you have to do something for my god, but I understand how this works.
Do you want to come with us?
He says, now that I've created this army, I don't know what will happen if I don't maintain it constantly. I feel like I have a responsibility to these beings. I think that someone else could take them and probably do a lot of harm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, goblins are a big responsibility.
I'm like up on the beetle telling it everything that I expect it to do for me.
Like what?
File
Like
my
what?
documents.
You will file my quills. You'll wash my inks.
Dude, this has to be true. No, for real, don't do more of it.
You will refill my ink pots by 6 a.m. every day.
You're going to scrub all my vellum. And then you're going to scrub my vellum scrubber. And then you're going to scrub my vellum scrubber.
Tell him.
Yes, I have 3. Do you have a problem with that? I didn't think so.
It's standard practice.
And then the beating. And then the 10 a.m. beating.
You drop the manual on him. Thump.
Yeah.
You will read this by dawn.
It's just, it's the first 3 pages are meticulously written out. And then it's just like pictures and like, well, it's dream journals. Doodles, yeah.
Recipes.
Recipes for sure.
Very nice.
Anyway, that's what I got for you.
So he's Tasty is just sort of almost like a flag on a prow. He just sort of swings down here, guiding it.
Majestic, really.
Oh yeah, it's a beauty. It's a thing of beauty. So, you know that the best way to get across the Lake of Radiant Mists is going to be getting some kind of a passage probably across that massive body of water. But it isn't a place that you have a tremendous amount of experience with, so there's going to be some key learnings once you arrive there.
Sure, yeah.
So it's a substantial path from here up to the edge of that lake. I mean, it's going to be probably a day or two's travel because you haven't been to this place yet, and you can't cast a magic bubble spell. Someday.
Oh, if only. Yeah, I thought it when I'd come back that I'd have that in hand, but I'm back sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
Do we like how much rest does a beetle require? Will we have to make camp?
Yeah.
Well, its life cycle is only 24 hours.
Yeah. Every
Yeah,
day.
beetle.
Every day you have to get a brand new one.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah,
So
I
while
mean,
you're moving on the beetle, sometimes he'll tap the beetle's head a couple times with one of his feet. Jump off, and you see the beetle just continue to go in that direction. So he's running off and grabbing fragrant mushroom stalks and other types of deeply unpleasant smelling food.
well, for everybody else, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's piquant.
That's why they call him tasty.
I like that the beetle has cruise control.
Oh yeah,
It's very good.
absolutely.
And I'm
Well, all today's beetles.
standard.
I'm eating some of these mushrooms. And I'm like, that's better than the stuff that dwarves were trying to feed us. You see, this is Underdark cuisine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fresh. It's natural.
It's local.
It's local, right? You don't have to dress it up with anything.
That doesn't send you into some kind of mushroom realm.
No, we don't eat those. You can if you want to,
No, but
but not as a dinner.
It's a dessert.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Ridiculous.
Digestif.
yeah, exactly. It's just like rich and sulfurous, and it has that nice pop.
Yeah.
Like as soon as the bicuspid gets through the skin, it's just like there's that moment of pressure. And it's like, is it? Oh, there it is.
And then if the mouth, it's like a tiramisu. Like if your mouth's open a little bit, the spores release.
Oh.
Of course.
Yeah. No,
Classic.
and it's just you don't want them to get away. So you're like trying to get. Oh yeah, exactly. You don't want those spores to go to waste.
This is foul.
Spore biter.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a spore biter situation. But you had mentioned the mushroom realm, the brew,
Oh yeah.
and as you are, this place definitely brings you back into that mind space.
Oh no.
Tell Cappy, don't look.
Like
Don't watch. Don't look.
Cover his
Don't
eyes.
look. Yeah, he covers his eyes.
like Cappy. So when you have been in the surface world, Cappy, generally speaking, is
Like benign.
well, he sleeps most of the time.
Yeah.
Every now and then he has opinions, but they're mushroom opinions, and
Yeah.
he doesn't share them with other people. Down here, you can sort of feel him shimmying and jostling so that he actually can turn independently on top of the head.
It's how he was in the Shadow Realm.
Oh, just do whatever he wants. up there.
Livelier.
Yeah. So he's definitely taking in the sights, and his the cap definitely has a clammy cast.
Ah.
And you still have Oak's scalp
On top of him.
right?
Yeah.
No,
I guess.
it doesn't. It will not stay on there anymore.
Oh no.
Ah.
No,
Too slick?
No. You had seen it before. Exactly, it's too slick. And just as you had seen it before, where before it was like just raw flesh, and it was like a fun joke you were having it.
Yeah.
You were enjoying at Oak's expense, or to honor him.
That was honor. Yeah.
It's up to you.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was
No.
funny.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, Dinar was like,
No, Kathrista, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's right, you loved him.
Oak is now something like a basketball, a soft basketball covered with black hair.
it's growing a new oak.
Oh, it's growing an oak.
Well. I keep him in a bag to incubate. Like a mother hen.
Give it 3 kisses.
It's egg-like, yeah.
It's
Starts-
my new egg.
Starts
A beautiful mane of hair.
checking boxes. It's this flesh lump with hair on it, and be like,
So wait, have you shared this with us, or
Maybe
one day
not.
it's just not on your head anymore?
yeah, I think one day it's just not on my head, and it's just in a bag, and I'm just like,
hoping
like,
because it had some god-esque blood tinge or whatever was inside. So it's growing. It might grow an oak back, maybe. I don't know.
it's like Shawshank, where the guy's feeding the bird in his pocket. I'm
Right.
just feeding the hairball, this flesh ball, like sprinkling little food in there.
But it just goes on the hair.
Yeah, just.
Oh God.
That's
So good.
It's in your pocket.
None of your business, Drow.
Whoa.
Back up.
You're right. So I'm spending a lot of this journey as as bolstered as I seem to be early on.
By these snacks?
Yeah, I'm also very quiet for long stretches, and during that period, I'm trying to decide whether or not I should try to message my sister, and even in my crazy fantasies, I actually message other relatives, other people that I may know that might still be there, and I think, no, there's no way.
Okay, so what you're saying is that this is exactly like real life, in
Oh, yeah.
absolutely every way.
Oh
Going
yeah.
home for Thanksgiving.
Guess
Right.
who's coming to dinner?
Should I warn? Nah, should I tell her? No. I was trying. I won't. If they don't know I'm coming, then that won't upset them. Nah, I shouldn't. They wouldn't help me. They might help me though. They might help me.
Is this all out loud?
It can be, yeah. Then on the other hand, I'm talking to Velvet. I have not instantiated Velvet. There is no friends nearby. That's how I'm choosing to spend the bulk of this trip.
Are you trying to find a suitable alternative to your sister? Or anybody but her?
I know that that's probably the easiest one, but I also know that she doesn't have a reason to necessarily help me. Like, I don't know what's happened in the last 250 years,
That's a long time.
You really don't.
I do not. Yeah. So I've decided, no, I shouldn't. I've decided that I'm going to keep thinking about it. And I'll know when we get there the right thing to do. Or I don't. Or I won't know.
What's the class structure of your town? Who's in charge?
It's so, okay. Yeah, do you want to do that in character? Let's
Well, I suppose Dinar would
You
be
should,
like,
yeah.
I'm royalty. Who does
you royalty?
Who's does the fellow royal should talk to?
Well, first of all, anybody except Drow are killed on sight, essentially, or maybe eaten or tortured, or they're not fond of visitors. It's a matriarchal society, and pretty much everybody worships Lolth, the spider goddess. She has a lot of sway down here, and I don't think that they would appreciate you, whatever you think of as royalty. I don't know that it would hold any water down here. And I also, oh shoot, I just lost my train of thought. What was it? Come back to me. Now you will just see Cathris the rest of this show. That's
Okay.
where I'm at in my head. It was that, it's a matriarchy.
What's that
and
mean?
It means
Dinar
that,
would be like, I have
no idea.
it means that the women have power. They're seen as the superior being,
Sounds great.
and the males are seen as a speed bump in the lineage.
Mm.
They could still make use of themselves in some ways, but we pretty much all had the understanding that we're, mulch for that garden. That's sort of where the station that we have. Usually it's a large family, though, although my parents only had the two of us, as far as I know. No, that has to be true because my dad's dead. I think he's dead.
How did your dad die?
Before my own eyes, he was. They decided that he was inadequate to be a servant of Lolth, and he was sacrificed in front of me. But he was very reassuring about the whole thing.
Whoa! I'm sorry. What?
Well, it's really heavy. You know what? I'm sorry I asked all of this.
No, I see the.
I was gonna talk
I
to
see
my
the
hairball.
emotions. I see the concern. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. He was very comforting toward me and my sister at the end. It made us understand this was the best way to go about it. Made me understand that this was coming from me too. If I wasn't a good, Lolth worshiper, and I get it. I got that. As kids, we all know that.
But you're not a Lolth worshiper.
No, so I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
So.
Do they know you're not a Lolth worshiper?
Oh, I assume they know by now. I didn't say goodbye.
Yeah.
I
Lol
just
worshippers
I
usually
left.
Say goodbye.
No, I think they stay and worship Lols.
Ah, yeah, say.
Nice.
So
And this is all making a whole lot more sense.
is it? Is it though?
Well, you are making a whole lot more sense.
So this bug
It is
working.
it is working hard.
This bug
Doing the rounds.
is working its
I thought
buggy A off. And so like I said before, so the Underdark is the Underdark, as we know, but there's multiple levels. Imagine a dark layer cake.
I'm
Right.
imagining.
Yep.
So you have like an
Try and stop me.
upper dark, a middle dark, and a lower dark. I just want to make sure that everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So places like Ilkhazur, is it Ilkhazur? Holorar. I know that those are both Holorar. I didn't make it. I didn't
That
name
is
it.
the word.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like the upper section. And so you have traversed that, and the section you are in now is still technically in that upper altitude realm, which, among other things, means that the ceiling here is relatively low for a deep, spooky cavern.
Right.
It's not a comfort. It it honestly makes the whole thing seem worse.
Yeah.
It seems like it is just right there all the time. But you even here in the upper dark, there is a rise that clearly is moving up, and you can see what you think might be the beginnings of a bridge or something in front of you, and it's lit from beneath, and there's like gouts of steam and mist that surround this massive, intricate object, this path that is leading out over into this.
Oh, those radiant mists.
Yeah.
I assume. What does Cathris know about the nature of that?
Of the
Of
radiant
that
mists?
lake, yeah.
There's a couple things that he knows, a couple things that he's heard, anyway. Give me that history check, and I'll tell you.
Oh, I will. And for this one, I will take advantage. Wait, where's my goodies?
Don't take
Oh,
advantage.
that'll be a good one. I'm an advantage. So
That's a real
10,
shit
That's
show.
a 6, and then that will be
it's a
not
one.
any better. So it's a 10. Is my history.
You know that it is the site of Ringlorr, the city of sweeping shadows, rising shadows, swirling shadows.
Blue shadow.
I think you said swirling shadows.
Yeah, but see, you rolled a 10.
right
That's
there.
why I don't know. If
Oh.
you had rolled higher, soaring. If you had rolled higher,
Soaring.
things would be very different now. You piece of shit. But you know that it is a. It seems like a strange idea, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. It is said to be a city of cloakers. Right?
Okay.
And so a cloaker, a cloaker is like,
Do I know what that is?
yeah,
Nope.
no,
Wow.
not a,
Don't
you
know
don't.
what that is?
A 3 is not good enough. No, a cloaker is a creature. It's like, if there was some kind of, imagine a dark job orientation video,
Oh, all
Right?
of them.
right? So imagine, this is like one of the things that you would warn like a brand new dungeoneer, like day one.
Yeah.
These creatures, they like to hang up on a stalactite. They like to fall down like a cloak.
Mm.
They are, in fact, indistinguishable from cloaks when they're not doing their weird shit.
Oh.
And so this is a creature, they're not evil, but they are strange and alien of mind. So they're incredibly difficult to communicate with or even understand any kind of overlap in what you might want that they want and vice versa.
Well, when they flop down on you, is it just teeth in there? Then they munch on you?
They have a face inside there, teeth going crazy, ready to chomp down.
Oh. I spent literally 4 hours here 200 years ago, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
No,
anything
no,
about the place.
Okay.
no. This
I
would
went
have
over
been
this bridge.
this would have been where you went to summer camp or something like that, right?
I wonder if the old boat's still there.
Yeah. Exactly. But you are starting to get a very odd back of the neck sensation, Rosie Bee Stinger. The closer you get up, and the beetle can get right up on this. This bridge is a very, very wide thoroughfare that seems to have strange cracks in it at what seem to be regular intervals.
Okay.
And also the entire thing seems to hum like at a certain pitch, like the vibration. It's a very low bass vibration. It's not quite like a rumble. It's a constant, and it appears to be coming from the bridge itself.
Can everybody hear this sound?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But there's something about it in particular that that has a greater effect on you. And the more you're taking in this this situation, at the end of this bridge, you can see that this bridge goes up, and then several hundred feet out, just stops.
Oh.
The bridge literally goes into open air.
Oh. Okay.
And you can see that at the very end of this bridge, there's almost like a dip, it goes forward and there's a dip and a ridge. And then seated out on the bridge itself is a man in a simple gray robe. And sort of clinging to him on all sides appear to be like strands and ropes and trunks of shadow that just reach out from the ambient air and seem to want to know him.
Does he seem into it?
He is complete. He is perfectly still.
Oh, and he's standing.
No, he's seated.
He's sitting. Okay.
He's seated.
He's seated right there on the bridge.
On a sit? Is he facing us or is he looking away?
He's looking out over the lake of radiant mists.
And did this bridge used to connect to something? Is this a new?
You knew about the bridges, and the shadow span is pretty famous, but that was hundreds of years ago. You don't know what has changed since then.
Okay.
Apparently a lot.
They didn't bother to mark up the entrance to the bridge that it was out.
No.
And
Put a sign
nobody
back
cared
there.
to do that, so we made it all the way out here. And
Kid could fall in there.
It's a long way across this thing. You can see a few docks in various stages of disrepair. Wood split down the seams, boat chunks.
Public Works need something, a little juice, some funding.
Well, do I know anything about the way that this man is interacting with Shadow? Does it look familiar at all?
You have never seen it like this exactly,
Okay.
and you think that you'd like to know more
Okay.
about that.
All right.
Maybe we'll have an opportunity to learn more after the break. Hey, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
That's fun.
Welcome back. My name is Jeffrey K. Horkins. Sorry, I don't know. I felt like I wanted to try to be professional for 5 seconds. I see now that was a terrible idea. Hey, what do you want me to mention, Lisa? I forgot. No, I got it. Ha! If you have questions for the delicious designers that we're going to have available for your interrogation during Table Talk, Gavin and Dave, throw questions directly into the chat with the hashtag question indicator, and then our precious Inkybot will digest those, and then we'll see them at the very end. It's been great. Now,
list out all the emotes you want them to make.
exactly.
Just nonstop.
Yep.
We'll go through every single one.
They do make the amounts.
Oh no. You'll have an opportunity to talk to these powerful creators
Ask Dave why the overlay is not made of jade instead of wood.
Well, that was an interesting. Yeah,
He's gonna love that one.
there was an interesting period. He's like, "Is there a way?" He's like, "Right now I'm thinking about kind of a jade thing." And then I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll just remake the whole campaign. Like, I don't care. I'll make the whole campaign about jade. Like, let's do it. Let's fucking go whole
Coming
hog."
from anybody else, that would be deep sarcasm.
Oh,
I'll just
no.
remake the whole campaign then.
Yeah.
No, man,
Great.
no, exactly. No, it's like for me, it's like that's the fun part. Like that's the Dark Souls of dungeon mastering. No, no, that's that Dark Souls of Dark Souls comparisons. Now, Rosie Beestinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are seeing this individual. There's an intimacy and a simplicity to the interactions that he just has with the ambient, natural shadow of this cavern.
So one of the things, so Rosie's ultimate ability relies on her drawing from the plane of shadow and creating
It
these
does indeed.
these shapes, which I have not used my new version of my
Grammamancy.
my new Grammamancy, which is a little bit tweaked, but
It's a little bit twerked.
little twerked. Rosie, so I guess I see this guy, and he has power and manipulation over the shadow that I have dreamed of, I suppose, because he's able to clearly do it at rest, at will, for a longer period of time. And the manipulation over that plane of shadow is part of why I had to leave the monastery. And so learning more about this technique, which I thought was esoteric and frowned upon, certainly by my masters, means that I slide off that beetle and
I get down off this beetle.
I'm off that beetle, and I'm walking toward this person with no thought for my own safety or how wise a move this is, and I haven't said anything. I'm just like walking away from you guys instantly, well, as if mesmerized. I think.
We're like,
There she goes.
Bye. It's like, man, everyone's so weird today, right, Hairball? I'm just with them.
Are you calling Oak Hairball? It's just-
She's going to sort this bridge business out, I'm sure. That's where she's headed.
Yep, I'm just gonna go pay the toll.
She'll fix it. This is some kind of a shakedown.
yeah.
All right, so I approach him with, frankly, no hesitance at all.
Oh yeah. You're Rosie Beestinger.
Yeah.
So tell me about how you enter his physical space.
So someone of this power level, which is
9,000
obviously
minimum.
there's
9,001.
I know that he detected us long before we arrived on that bridge, and so he's been aware of our presence. So I'm not making any kind of stealthy approach to him because I know he knows I'm there, and that's monastic maneuvers 101.
Yeah,
I taught that class. So
for a couple years.
yeah, that's pretty good. T8 at first. Then so yeah, I approach him, but I stay a respectful distance away until he chooses to acknowledge me, because that's
from
protocol.
behind?
Yeah.
It never happens.
He never does.
He never turns around.
Oh my God. Okay, so I wait for a while.
He just keeps bringing and you can see, but now that you're even closer, you can see with even greater granularity what's happening. So from back here, it looks like there's various strands of shadow coming in of different widths. Now that you are much closer, within 10 feet or so, you can see that he is taking thin wisps of shadow and then weaving them into larger trunks.
Dope. I guess I clear my throat.
Ah! He falls over to the side.
Don't hurt me.
I say, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Excuse me? I don't.
This is the game, right? Still?
This is what.
Jerry,
Oh God, Jerry's having a stroke.
No,
I
Jerry.
think it's in character.
It's okay.
Wow, this is next level. Wow,
dude,
he's
it's
dialed in.
It's like you could have called at the beginning of this conversation and
Yeah.
saved 50% of my brain matter.
Yeah. You don't need.
But what you chose to do instead was laugh and have fun.
Yep. Stand by it. So he's making throat singing noises at me.
Yeah, when you speak to him,
He's okay. I don't understand.
I relate.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
He raises his hands up to the cavern ceiling, which only comes down, it's maybe 300 feet above.
Uh-huh.
And he says, hello!
It echoes. The cavern is hello. It's me. Is he human? What does he look like?
Yeah,
What's
he
his
looks human, but sort of, but deeply pale, like
Okay.
a grub.
Okay, tail grub.
Like a human for whom the sun is a memory at best.
Okay, and he is older, younger?
It is incredibly hard to tell.
Okay.
It's hard to place him on a linear progression.
Okay. So he is not surprised by my.
He looks down at his
presence?
hand, and it is not 100% opaque.
Ooh.
And he shakes it out, makes a fist a couple times. He's like, gives himself a thumbs up. He's clearly very proud that he has managed to create a hand
Nice.
for himself.
Good job.
Hello.
What are you doing? What is this?
Hello.
Hello. I'm Rosie.
I am. God, what is it? What would you say? Scythe.
Scythe?
Scythe.
Scythe. Scythe. Okay. Hello, Scythe.
Hello.
Hello. My friends and I need to cross this bridge. Do you know how we can do that?
Yes.
How?
It's going to take some time. Do you know about time?
A bit.
Okay. Then there'll be no big surprise to you. It'll be no big surprise to you then. It's going to take a little bit of time, not a lot. How much is a lot of time?
It's relative. I mean, we would love to be there as soon as possible. A day or two?
A day. Yes.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Yes. Yes. Less than a day.
Okay. Great.
Less than a day
Wonderful.
in total.
Day being 24 hours.
24 what?
Hours. Do you have hours? Don't worry. Day sounds great.
We
Less
were
than a
doing
day.
better when we had day. Let's
Sure.
use day.
We don't
Let's
need to
use
tie
that
day.
as our basic unit of chrono juncture.
Excellent.
Okay. Scythe.
Rosie,
Hello.
so lovely. Does his hand
Hello.
feel warm and human? And
No.
What does it feel like?
It feels very cold.
No. Okay, cold, but substantial.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. And you can see now that just in all directions, all the ropes and cords that he's been weaving are slowly, silently sort of snapping at their extreme ends and just unwinding
Whoa.
and going back out into the undifferentiated darkness of the cavern.
Rosie's watching in awe of this, and I say, I have some contact with the plane of shadow myself.
Well, he's like, yeah, yes, that's apparent. It's like you are carrying a shadow with you. That's,
This one?
for me, that's an indicator.
Okay, just a
Wait, this one, are you putting to Tasty?
no, just the shadow that I'm casting from whatever ambient light. Like, is there a different shadow?
He's like, no.
What do you?
He's like, you're the shadow, your shadow that you're
Oh.
carrying. Your shadow. God. What is it? What would you call it? It is a rod?
Oh.
Staff.
Oh.
Staff.
Right. Oh. This. I show him Staff of the Master.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he says, this is fairly typical manifestation of shadow stuff, I would say.
Well, that may be. I haven't met very many others, maybe 0 others, who are as talented as you are in the realm of shadow. So.
If I care at all, and I think that places me in the upper echelon.
That's fair. Could you teach me how you're doing this? I've never seen work like this before. This is incredible.
Yes. I would have to charge. But I am not opposed to it. I think that we honor shadow when we serve it.
Mm.
Are those all common words?
Yes. That tracks.
Yes.
You're killing it.
Hello. He says, "No, you are not aware of this device that you're carrying. You don't know. You did not know that it was a shadow. It sounds like.
I got it.
Did you look
recently.
at it?
Yeah.
Ever?
I snuggled it. I tuned to it. It does cool stuff. Beats people up.
Okay.
But it has always been a physical object. It's never revealed any kind of.
Well, yes, it's as real as anything is. That I'll grant you that.
Right.
But shadow, like any other material, can be alloyed with other materials.
Oh, my education is incomplete. I confess to you.
This is a simple matter. Time obviously will be a function, but we will have time together. If you're trying to cross this body of water, we will have time together. Maybe not all the time we need, but certainly we can establish some fundamentals.
Well, yeah. Will you teach me to use the shadow to complete this bridge?
Well, that's not how this works.
Oh, how does it work?
He says, so look out there. Look deep into it.
Looking.
No, it's over there, actually.
Okay, yeah. Looking
There
at
it is.
Yeah.
So in the distance, out here, there's some of this bioluminescent lichen,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the light here comes from the lake itself. And you can see what looks to be like a castle or a city structure, like a massive physical structure.
Oh.
Except it exists in the raw air over the surface of this steaming lake. And it's moving toward the bridge, sort of spinning and orienting, imagine looking inside of a compass.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how there's that period when you're aligning it where the compass needle is adjusting itself constantly? That's what's happening with this city as it is moving toward. And you can see the closer it gets, and in fact, it looks like it's hung with rich draperies on every side. And it comes in, and then you can see that in the sort of foundation of this town, there appears to be places for the bridge. So this lip of the bridge actually lifts up, and it comes to rest soundlessly basically on the lip of this bridge. And he's like, this is shadow. He points down at the bridge itself. He says, this is shadow as well. It's like your staff. This is shadow. All this is shadow.
Mm. I see. I think.
I will be shadow soon. I'm working on it. I've been working on it. I think I'm close. But I'm not there yet. And I'm glad, because I might not have met you. Maybe this is a good thing.
Were you shadowed before?
No, I just think it has advantages.
I see.
I'm into it.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think if I could if I could choose a form, it would definitely be in that plane, in that realm.
I would say you're already closer than most. Come with me. He
Okay.
holds his arm out.
Hook it in there, my tiny little arm.
Right up on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
You can sort. It's like a hand is like in the pocket. Like there's stuff in there, probably good stuff.
Yeah.
Upon seeing that, you hear my voice in your head. Where are you taking care of this? How much does this guy want?
I don't think he's going to charge us anything, but it might come at a cost to me. I'll let you know. Bye. Love you.
What'd she say?
Yeah, we're just watching from like the side, like.
I don't know. I kind of don't want to look.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing.
He says if your friends want to go to the same place you do,
They do.
they're gonna want to get on this city.
Okay. So I turn around and I beckon to you.
Yeah, tasty.
How much? What do we need to bring? I'm sitting on about 670 right now.
Oh well, keep it in your back pocket. But I think this isn't going to be your normal kind of cost. This isn't like a money transfer situation.
Oh, the
Gotcha.
flesh. All right. Well,
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll see how
Oldest
it goes.
profession. Got it.
should have known.
Even if it were true, the funny thing is that even if it were true, it's like it just can't come from Dinar.
Right. I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
I'm
not
not
good.
going to give it to you.
No,
right?
it's not good from Dinar.
Herbie and Tasty can easily navigate up this bridge into this thing. So imagine that this wide bridge affixed to this town, imagine that it goes directly into a thoroughfare like you would see in a city. So you walk directly off of this bridge into this place, but the city itself is made of the same material as the bridges. The only difference is that this city, it has that same sort of hum, that same vibration, but it is, like I said, draped in just sumptuous leathers. It's like it's like a place that has been mothballed or something, right? It's just like it looks like it's been covered up. And then if you look back toward the bridge as the city is getting up, you can see that some of these covers, like a manta ray, just fall off and then slide from the city back down onto the bridge, and then they sort of wedge themselves in to these regular interval cracks. So you can see them, they get in a little bit, and then it takes a little bit of effort, and then these shapes wriggle themselves inside of the structure.
Yikes.
Yikes, indeed.
And as they pass, you can hear something like that low sound.
Okay.
Is this?
But they're not attacking us. They're not
No,
interested in
no,
us.
they don't seem to be interested in anything except resting on this, on the eaves and crooks of this imaginary city.
Okay. We should hurry.
So he's taking you. He is basically taking you on what he imagines is a tour of a place of profound, detailed interest. And you listen. You like Shadow, right? Like you're into it,
Yeah.
like way more than most people.
Sure.
One time I went to CES.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to CES?
No, but I've read the articles.
It sucks. Like it is actually like I thought that I liked that type of stuff,
Right.
and I went to it, and I was like, I was so after like 3 hours, I was so bored. It's like that's a television. Are you for fucking real right
Yeah.
now? You want me to be excited about a television?
Sure.
It's like, oh, here's a car stereo.
Yeah.
Here is a juicer with Bluetooth.
I want a refrigerator that will be my wife.
Well, they got that.
I didn't see that
That's
there.
2018.
Finally, yeah, 2018.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
here, Mary-
it's
Mary
like that.
Fridge
It's like
is
you think you're
eating
into it, right? And he is taking you on a tour of this town, but it's like it isn't like a ghost town. Like a ghost town is a town that has collapsed in some way and is no longer functioning as a city. This is like a town that is a ghost.
Is it like it's like a model town? It's like, I could imagine myself living here. Like I can imagine this place being populated,
Yeah.
but it's not for living in. It's
Right.
just
Yeah.
to represent.
So when you
some
buy
space.
a town, it
Yeah.
looks like that.
This is
but
what
it's-
you
Exactly.
you want.
So as you're going through, as you're walking through the town, Sive goes up and gives one of the sort of leather wraps around sort of like an awning, goes up and gives it a nice scritch,
Oh.
and it goes like this.
Are these creatures your friends?
Just friends.
Like someone you like to hang out with?
Like to hang out with.
Oh, friend, like I'm your friend, as I actually am.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Like we are.
Yeah, like this. He says, I don't think that they see something that is not a cloaker as a truly sentient creature.
Oh. So you're kind of their pet?
We exist in a sort of inverse pet continuum.
Mm.
Occasionally I am amusing to them, I think, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
He says, one moment. And then he gives another scritch. And he says, and the city, as it's sailing through the air, turns. You can feel it turn slightly under your feet and start going another direction. He says there's a couple stops on the way to the other side, but it won't take long. It should be less than a day.
Of course.
Yeah, my fascination is to discard this husk, and I think the cloakers have got it figured out.
We got someone like that.
Oh,
I don't know
are
if
you a student of Shadow as well?
Not of Shadow. I also believe Shadow to be a lie, in as much as anything else is one.
Don't listen to him.
Okay.
He's crazy.
Why did you make this town?
I couldn't.
Hmm.
I couldn't. 200 years ago, this town did not exist in this way. The cloakers lived in longer bridges than you see, but after they had sustained an attack, the Shadow Orb Council. It's like their it's like their king isn't right. Imagine if you had 12 kings and they could all become one king if they felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the
King.
word is for that.
Who is a king? King feels right.
Super king. That's a meta king.
A rat king.
Rat king.
Yeah. yes, a rat king, let's say. Now, this is the capital, if you will, of Ringlorr Noroth, and it houses the Shadow Orb Council, and it moves between each of the districts. So the district that we just left at the north end of the lake, that is the Orb Mantles. These are my words. This is not. They don't call themselves this.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a minute of droning, and it seems like that's. Tell me if I'm wrong. That's not how you prefer to be communicated with.
It's not a matter of preference. I would love to learn to speak the language, but
It's not impossible. I can teach you a few simple words.
please.
A few simple words. He says, "Watch this." He says, "May I hold your staff for a moment?"
I suppose that's up to the staff. And I hold it out to you.
He takes it and he whispers to it, and it droops over both sides of his hand like a noodle.
Wah! Goodness. It doesn't upset Rosie. She's so enamored of this person. She's like, do what you will. That's lovely. I love it.
He shakes it out a little while, and then snaps it, and then he puts it back, and he's like, I could teach you something like that.
Yeah.
I could let you talk to the staff. It's clearly very lonely.
Really?
A
Oh no.
just a couple words, and it
Oh.
was just eating out of my palm. The poor thing. Well, listen,
That's great.
listen. I'm gonna show you some things, and you tell me which thing you want to learn the most,
Okay.
and I'll teach you.
Okay.
So he's like, so back there, it's like you can see that bridge receding. He's like, the orb mantles, they sing to they're like the architects,
Okay.
but the materials that they use are hauled from the plane of shadow itself. And they have a process by which they can infirmin,
Sure.
solidify. They can solidify, harden,
Very good.
harden.
Any are
So these all work.
Right. The shadow stuff itself, but they have to sing to it constantly.
Okay. Okay.
If they don't, it will ultimately begin to lose its shape.
Okay.
Sounds inefficient.
It will sag. He looks at
Sorry. Sorry.
yeah.
He's a whole story.
I'm only teaching point of view. So as it is whirling over to the western side of the lake, you can see another bridge projecting out, similar by and large to the last one. But there are cloakers here. So it's like almost a Doppler thing. The closer you get, the more you can hear of that sound.
Mm.
And it's just echoed by the city that you're on, right? So the closer they get, it's just like they just become in tune with each other as they hang on the edge. But here, cloakers are like active, like in a frenzied way.
Okay.
Like they are flying up, and so there are rifts that exist. As I was saying last game, there's rifts that exist in the ground, but there's also rifts that exist in the ceiling, and these cloakers are flitting up high into the ceiling crevice, and then they are coming down, like they are wrapping themselves around things, and then they're falling back down into the town and dropping them off. So they're pulling all kinds of things out of this rift. He says these are the rift hunters. They provide food for the districts, and it's like when they get back down, you can see them unfold themselves over little baskets that have been made, like little cells of shadow stuff. So it's filled with these massive frogs, like frogs that are a foot or two wide, massive weird bugs.
Nice.
They're picking all that stuff up and bringing it down, and then you can see they also seem to be policing the water around the edge of the at the bottom over the lake itself. You think that you can see other shapes moving below the water, and that's something you have not seen from cloakers proper. They appear to be these don't seem to be aquatic in any way. After a few cloakers have left the city, a few more have come back onto the city. It lifts back up and goes to another district on the south, which is where you can see shadow. He says this is the district of the Shadow Weavers. South is also the place that you are going to be. You can disembark from. Basically, you will be across the way here.
Right.
And you can see at the Shadow Weaver Central, you can see that this is more ornate. Like the other places are more functional. And he says that they actually do a brisk trade here in shadow stuff. Artisan shadow crafting, essentially.
Okay.
And he says that he says
It's like a farmer's market, like a shadow farmer's market.
exactly. And he says we can get off here. He says we can bring your leg, your black
Beetle.
leg orb. Beetle.
I like leg orb too.
It's fine. They're both fine. You knew what I meant.
Did.
I meant turn to Dinar just while you guys are conversing, and I just like quietly I say, "Is this what it was like when you were in the Shadow Realm? Was this what it was like?
Yeah.
It looked like this?
It wasn't great. Yes.
Stuff that you
Oh, is this reminding Dinar of the
Yeah,
Shadow Realm?
yeah.
Oh.
Although I guess the cloakers wouldn't do that. Cloakers are new. These,
Yeah, it's like this is tasteful.
yeah, these like curtains, living curtains are kind of weird. That's new, but similar.
would you prefer it with the living curtain?
Yeah, I would have something else with a pulse.
So, he takes you down off of the city itself, down onto this bridge that's reaching out from the southern edge of this lake, and there's a lot more bustle on this side, potentially because this is a more populous area, potentially because this is a more it has an active mercantile element that does its best to secure and perform business tasks.
Are they just these cloakers, or we see anybody that we might?
No, there are people. There are Drow, humans, Durgar,
Oh,
in small groups, moving through potentially.
it all looks so good.
Yeah. No, potentially to. I mean, it's a weird product, and you suspect that there is a market for it.
What kind of product is it that they're selling?
All kinds.
Oh, just lots of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, all kinds, and you can tell. I mean, you can see a Drow reach over and pick up a knife, and then just sort of like laugh with cruel delight because it's perfectly balanced anywhere he puts it on his finger. Like it has no weight of any kind, but it has a brutal, a thirsting edge, but it has absolutely no weight of any kind.
I was gonna say, does this awaken like latent assassin murder qualities?
No, it's more like I see that and I'm like, oh, what a wonderful clothing that could make. You're just flowing around you. You'd feel like you weren't wearing anything at all. Can it be made into clothes? I think actually to see a Drow do that might make Cthulhu feel a little bit hesitant. Like, oh
Okay.
yeah, I remember where we're going.
So all of the things that are being crafted by the Shadow Weavers are being sold here, and the goods that we see are all made of shadow, so that they don't have weight. Like that's the appeal of these shadow crafts.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is. He says there is a. So you're asking me that, but you could
Rosie,
just as easily talk to
ask
Scythe.
Yeah.
So Scythe will say, well, there is another property of these weapons that makes them attractive for certain modes of
We know.
Rosie hums
killing,
encouragingly. Yeah.
death, murder.
Murder.
Is that the wrong one?
No, that's a really good one.
Okay. He says there are, depending on how these weapons are made, a 10-day from now, there will be no weapon to speak of.
Oh. Yikes. Okay.
So they get you. You're getting that one.
Can they make
It's a real racket.
Can they make food? 'Cause
A week, 10 days later.
I'm hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, they have food here for corporeal beings.
Wow. That sounds fun.
You want shadow food or nothing?
Oh yeah, that's the one thing he misses about the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
Is the food.
The food was
Yeah.
so
I
good.
used to get this shadow souffle that it was like they just can't make it here. Like they would make it there.
I think they don't have the white. They don't have like the white peppercorn.
That's the one thing I miss.
The Shadow Souffle.
Right. He says, I know of a shop here where we could
Make love. No.
I was gonna say
no.
we could
It's
fuck,
like we
listen.
could be intimate
Oh,
with one another.
physically?
We have coin as well.
Jappy with the staff.
Yeah.
We could be very close as is possible.
Oh, good. Sure. Yeah, that sounds great.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
This is like the most
that-
cerebral connection Rosie's ever made.
Is that the only form of currency?
The currency.
Yeah.
So so it takes you over to the cloaker. What they think of as being useful in a piece of architecture is distinct, but it's pretty good size for a Rosie. Sive has to sort of kneel his way in. They sort of look like almost like a helmet. It clearly has a place like to hang up inside, like it has like a roosting area, right? But inside it has lots of places for them to hang so that they can sing to these items, which is how they make them to begin with.
Got it. Okay.
And as he walks in, this is clearly it's operated by a cloaker he has clearly talked to before. Generally speaking, cloakers are not showing their face to people, and this one is completely showing it. And you wish that he hadn't.
Because it's human teeth.
It's so it is not good.
Oh no.
So it's all black, like perfect tanned, glossy leather on the back.
Yeah.
It's like in the way that you could have a party in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The business that's in the front is not a business that you want to be a part of.
The living mullet.
It's just yeah. It's a fantasy mullet.
Oh boy.
It's sort of like a lightly damp, bone white, glistening belly with no limbs or grablets of any kind to speak of. And then on the top, a squashy face that looks like a demonic baby.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so, so then our Saif says, he walks up to this creature's helmet and he says, and you are positive that it starts to laugh at him.
Ah.
Like the face is, and then it falls down and rolls around a little bit.
Oh, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And he gestures into the helm with the tail.
Yeah, cute kid. You must be proud dad. Like I wanted home too.
He's like, he walks in. He's like, they don't like my accent, but I have a human throat, and that's how it is.
Yeah. Let's explore that.
Explore the human throat. Right.
Sorry.
Sorry. He says, I understand this is strange. I'm going to ask you here in this intimate place. I'm going to ask you to do things that you've never done before. Strange things.
Well, try me.
All right. He says, I need you to hit this exact tone. Are you ready?
Ready.
He says, yes, very good. Now lower. And you can feel the staff responding to that tone in your hand.
Yeah.
I would like you to try to turn the staff into something that you would like to turn it into.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What would Rosie want to turn it into?
I mean, I know.
Sorry. It's already there.
Yeah.
Break the tension.
Big old shadow duck.
Yeah, you're like, it's like, it didn't work. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's where you're wrong.
Okay. I think that Rosie would try to make it into a little boat, like a sailing ship. With
I could not be more pleased. I could not be more pleased.
Okay.
And so you're holding the staff, and you're close. You can feel it. You can feel it.
Feel it.
You can feel the desire
Mhm.
in the staff to please you. And
Happy Beth.
Sive comes over and then basically puts his hand on your hand and begins to sing with you and like help you slightly adjust the pitch. It's a specific tone, it's a specific intonation it's like you have to ask, but you have to ask in a way where you still retain authority.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's honestly the closest
Riding a horse.
the closest thing you can think of is like a parenting tone.
Oh yeah.
But it's like you just have to learn how to parent this
I'm
this
so ready.
creature.
I'm so prepared
And so you
for this.
found a new type of song to sing to it, and it begins to expand. Like the staff itself begins to expand and grow out until you are pressed against the inside
Too much.
of the helm.
Bottle boat, but a real boat.
Oh no.
Of the helm, and you can see Sive's hands like over the top of it, and he says, "You're doing it. You're doing it. It's happening. What is this? Is this what you tried to make?"
No, not exactly.
You're close though. I feel like you're getting it. I feel like you're a good student.
Thank you. Outside, we're like mortified.
You're just hearing this like tantric shit going on in
yeah,
here.
exactly.
Didn't know this is how halflings did it.
I'm like, is this what you had to sleep through that other time?
Yeah, I was gonna say getting flashbacks and Welver, but like, this is exactly the same, like to a T.
Rosie yells, "It is exactly the same."
It's like finding a post. Just
Yeah, like so many bad memories on this trip.
Exactly. He says. Sive says, "You are a quick study. I suspect you've been to the Shadow Realm."
I've gazed into it. I don't think I've been there yet.
Yeah. Your contact with it will improve your ability to shape it.
Excellent.
I would put it on your calendar.
Okay. I'll
Spend
do
some
that.
time there.
Okay. I know a guy.
boy.
Boy.
He's like, now it's very important. It's incumbent upon you to please collapse this contraption down back into the staff so that I can breathe a little.
Absolutely. I will do that.
But do you do it?
How do I do it?
He's like, you just try, and I'll tell you if you're doing it right.
Okay. So if then Rosie reasons that it's the opposite, so it's
You know we're singing.
No, it's gonna be like the mouse and the motorcycle, right? It's like instead of room, it's more.
Yep, Murv. So yeah, she tries to
So you're just,
reverse it.
you're just
It's
the key exactly.
exactly.
We're back on it.
Always.
Misty Elliott,
Misty Elliott.
the Lake of Radiant
I
Misty
like it.
Elliott.
I like it.
So it really comes down to like recognizing that there is a kind of intention in the staff already and making your case. Because the respect is already there, the attunement was already there.
Okay.
You simply have to make a good case. And you do. You make a good case. You're able to collapse it and refold it.
Okay.
So from now on, if you ever want to use your grammamancy, you can make contraptions
Yes.
out of shadow.
Any shadow, not just my staff?
The staff will give you incredible capabilities
Okay.
because it's a shadow that you're familiar with.
Okay.
So what you'd be able to do with the shadow staff is always going to be superior.
Okay. Super. And I did
You'll be able to accomplish more with the same amount.
Yeah, the volume of what I just created vastly
Exactly.
what I intended.
Exactly. So it's there's some ratio there that you don't know exactly what it is, but whatever this staff is, the material that makes it up is substantially larger than it looks.
Okay. Cool. From now on, you guys assume that anytime there's downtime, I'm like whispering to this staff all the time, making up for lost
It's
time.
just
Like,
getting
I had
weird.
No idea. I'm so sorry.
Staff ownership.
I'm Rosie.
Big
So
responsibility.
you gotta feed it.
You
gotta
gotta
walk
feed
it.
it.
Exactly. Now, so you, so he walks out, and as he walks by, the cloaker sort of gives him an affectionate whip of its spiky tail, and he gives it a little scratch on the back of on the neck part of what a cloak would be. This place seems to be thinning out. You think that shop hours might be coming down to a close, like whatever time it is.
Can we shop?
Absolutely.
We're in a marketplace.
You are
Let's
you are
shop.
A little shopping montage.
you are 100%
I like
able to shop.
buying stuff.
You want some shadow kebabs?
Yeah.
That's all you want.
Like a street vendor, yeah. There's like all these
shadow
awesome
food.
shadow things, and I'm like, yeah, but there's a kebab place. There's shawarma.
Shawarma.
Yeah. There's Donner kebabs. There, we got there. Season 2 finally happened. Hooray.
I get it.
You get it? We all get it.
What do you got? What do you want?
I don't know. What are the stores? What are the wares?
Go out there and look.
What
I
interests
do.
you?
What do I see?
guess?
What's that?
What do you see?
I don't know. Should I roll?
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet.
It's like I got 16. You see 16 stores.
Everything costs $16.
16
All
of your
right.
16 of your favorite stores.
What would Denard be shopping
I don't have
for?
necessarily a
You're just
something in
looking.
mind.
No, and you don't have to. You're just window browsing.
I like to think that when this has happened infrequently, but when the opportunity to buy stuff has come up, he would buy.
You buy
things-
basics.
Things for Krenar, and then when he sees her again, he gives her all toys from his travels.
These are gonna expire.
Well,
that's
not
true.
not all.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Not
I'll
all.
let
The
the
staff's
shopkeep
good.
tell me that.
It has to do with how they're made.
Would if he buys something, would I have the power to keep it going with song or?
You think so?
Humming? Okay,
Well, you've seen the process now.
Yeah.
You think that you would know how to coax a shadow stuff object.
Okay.
Classic.
Imagine
Nice.
a dark teddy bear.
Well, yeah.
You
Tell
don't
me.
have
good.
to.
Tell me
They have
what's.
those.
They have this dark teddy bear.
What do they
shop right
have?
there.
Like what's?
They have all kinds of things. And
Alright.
you think that they may have? Do you think that some of these toys may have like a profoundly upper class Drow child
Oh yeah.
in mind?
I couldn't afford any. of
Yeah, I was
these.
gonna say, are you like helping me?
Well, I don't think I've seen so few of these for that reason. Like I might have seen another child play with something like that once.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say
know.
like, well, when I was a kid 407 years ago, this was a very popular toy.
Yeah. Where it's like you only had Duplo blocks, but like they have Legos on display, and you're like, oh no, you gotta get that.
Yeah, that's the
real
one.
Yeah.
Oh man, this
Program
is
them.
so insane. Hey Josh, can you flip the cauldron, please?
Oh,
So not only did I flip the cauldron, thanks so much to Clever Rogue, I literally rolled merchant on my out of combat.
no way.
Hey, nice.
I literally rolled merchant on my out of combat thing. So this is what this means. This means that there is somebody, the equivalent of which, imagine like they were selling used shadow cars. And it's sort of like, what can I do to get you into a shadow car today?
I'll buy a shadow car. Shit,
Yeah,
that'd
yeah.
be awesome.
You would love a shadow car.
Yeah.
So there is someone, there is a, someone, so it's like it's like a two-man operation. There's like the cloaker in the back, and then there is
Cloaker's the
a,
general manager.
no, there's
You
like
gotta
a,
talk to my manager.
like a Svirfneblin, like a deep gnome
Okay.
out front. You can barely see over the table. He sees you, and then he goes back into the helm in front of his table, and he speaks in the hello hum to the cloaker, and a few seconds later he comes out with a block of shadow that he sets on the ground and then stands up on. And he says, Sir, please.
Yes.
I know there is a little dragon in your life.
It's that obvious, huh?
Look at that proud daddy glow.
I know, yeah.
He said, I see
You want to see a picture?
I see the t-shirt, And he says, the toys that we give a child can teach them so much. Then he says, come and look at my wares.
I would love to.
He says, for example, these are wares right here.
Where?
Here.
Oh,
They're here.
They are theirs.
but where?
So he begins to show you a set of shadow, like interlocking shadow blocks and rings that, when combined, take up less space than they should. So they sort of fold into each other a little bit. So they're incredibly complex puzzles because the way the pieces are interacted with shift as they're used.
Okay. Crazy shadow Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's like the rings, and so he's showing like the rings are like inside. So it's like he undoes the puzzle, pulls it out. The rings are a separate puzzle inside there
Nice.
that can be resolved.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
He's
says,
very good.
That's pretty cool.
He says, I am willing to make a special deal just today.
I'm all ears. Let me hear it.
Just today.
Heard it.
He says, I will give you one of these. One of these. I need you to show it to a toy shop in Waterdeep.
And then I get to keep it?
You can keep this one. I want you to show it to them. Give him my card.
I say, I don't know. This is a little advanced for her. So I don't know. Just playing hardball. I don't know. Is there anything else?
No. He's like, no, my own child. She has played with it now. She is an engineer.
I don't know. Waterdeep's really far. I don't know.
We all want the best for our children.
But you can tell that he doesn't really understand like how far apart things must be. Like his conception of geography, surface geography, makes no sense.
I'm trying to haggle, and he's just going all over, like way over his head.
He's like, 3. Take 3.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're talking.
Take these. Bring them with you.
Take 3 free things and keep them.
Right.
You drive a hard bargain, my friend, but a bargain you shall have.
He's like, you will make the time to come back here. Get my incredible toys.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. All right, thanks, Josh.
Dinar has become a traveling toy salesman.
Yeah.
Just like a thief.
I'm just a thief. Just a complicated
so
thief.
handy.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, we're gonna come across like some spoiled prince or something like
Oh,
that.
hell yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Add it to
for
my,
sure.
my equipment.
Another spoiled
I know.
friend.
3
Number
shadow
2.
Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And if you do end up getting one of those back to Krenar, she will gain benefits in the real game.
Oh, believe me, I will. That's why I got him.
Well, for Krenar, we'll-
She's
give
getting
her
3.
2,
Yeah.
she will be punished severely. It'll be a nightmare.
and 3 will just kill her.
Yeah.
She's getting 3, and as far as this guy knows, yeah, I did exactly what he wanted.
You probably already threw his business card away.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly. It's like 3 of them together. It's like she can build a Veritech.
Yeah,
And like just fly around.
I do take his business card. What's this guy's name?
His fantasy.
I say,
Snell.
sir, what's your name?
He's like, I'm Snell.
Snell.
Just Snell. Ask around. Anyone knows me.
Oh, fantasy
it's,
smell?
is it on his
Oh yeah, exactly.
Toy Boy Snell? What's the name of his store?
You piece of shit.
What's on? It's on a business card. What? Snell.
Deep delights.
Deep. That doesn't
that
sound
was
like a
good.
toy store at all.
It does.
It's certain
just
type
not
of
a
toy.
good
Creepy toy store. Snell's Deep Delights.
For children.
For kids, in parentheses and really small, seductive letters.
Exactly. So like I say,
boy.
this place is really starting to file out. You think there might have been a little bit of like end of day desperation, like at least turn this into a marketing win type scenario.
I see.
But as the rest of this basically bridge dock is starting to empty out, and the patrons are beginning to distribute down this grade and in the distance, Cthulhu, you see a city that you know all too well. Shadow Council, may our labors please you. We are going to see you next Thursday about this time. Hey, for now, don't go nowhere, of course. Walnut and Kate, which is to say Rosie, they're going to go see Hamilton. But we have special guests in the form of our cool designers, Gavin and Dave. And since we didn't have any giveaways during the show, we're going to do all of our giveaways during Table Talk. So don't go nowhere. We'll see you
Around.
Yeah.